Today I'm going to do a quick video on client classification and how to set that up. We're going to go first of all to an existing set of data. So when you're putting this together, the first thing you want to do is organize your list probably by households, is the way most advisors do it. And then as you're getting this list together, the two things we're looking for are a column for assets under management and also T12 revenue. The T12 revenue, of course, may change because you may have taken on a new client last month and they haven't been billed yet, or maybe they've only been billed for half a year and it looks kind of weird. You'll see that like an example here. Here's somebody who's got $4.5 million and there's zero billing. Obviously, something's going on there. So, okay, so maybe you need to adjust for those things. But again, most of your data is probably going to be pretty good. There may need to be a few adjustments. The other thing is when you're sending this over to me, if you're sending it, make sure you take out the client names so that, so we don't get any issues with compliance. Just substitute for numbers and just keep a master list yourself so that you know who we're talking about. Okay. Next thing I want to do is we want to organize this by revenue from high to low. So the way to do that is to select all the data. If you're on an IBM type of a computer, that's Control A. We'll select all the data. And then you just go to up here to data and sort. And you want to go sorting by your T12. And then you want largest to smallest. And that should put everything in order here in terms of your revenue. Okay, so that's what we want to do first. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to build a cumulative revenue column. So you could do that. Okay, well, close enough. Okay, and the formula here, we're just going to in the first cell, we just want to write equals C, it'll be C3. And then the next formula we're going to write is going to be equals D3 plus C4. And you can type that out, or you can just, like I did, navigate to the cells and put it in. Okay, now we want to copy that, which we could just copy and paste all the way down. Or if you just go to the bottom right-hand corner with your mouse, you can double click on that and that should autofill all your cells. And if you need to widen this out to see it, that'll autofill all the cells down to the bottom of your spreadsheet. Okay, so you can see this particular advisor has quite a few clients here. Wow, it's going for a long time. And so we want to go all the way down to the bottom. And we've got a total of $2.5 million of revenue, 878 clients. And we're going to apply the Pareto principle here to determine A clients and B clients primarily. Then we'll talk about how to get to C and D clients. The first thing I want to do is I want to find out what 80% of their revenue is. So the formula for that's going to be equals, and then you want to navigate to this last number here in column D. And then times, which is the asterisk key, 0.8. And that'll give us 80% of the revenue. While we're doing this, I also want to do 60% of the revenue. We'll talk about that in just a minute. So it's the same thing. It's equals. And then just use your arrow keys to navigate to that last number, times 0.6. Okay. So now we have numbers that represent 60% of the total amount of revenue and 80%. And I'm just going to type those in just so we remember what those reference numbers are. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go looking for these two numbers, and I'm just going to make it 1,000,005 and 2 million. I'm going to kind of just round it. So I'm going to go look for approximately 2 million here. And okay, we're getting close here. 2 million should be right around here. Okay, then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to select all those cells, just drag across with your mouse, And I want to be back on the home screen. And I'm just going to highlight that in yellow. And I'm going to put over here 80%. That's 80% of the total revenue. The other one was $1.5 million. If you didn't remember it, you could go back and look. But we're going to do the same thing. We're going to look for $1.5 million of cumulative revenue. And there we go there. So again, I want to highlight that row and color it yellow and just put 60%. Okay. Now, in my experience, for most advisors, we want to consider their A clients as providing 60% of the revenue, and all of their A's and B's falling within 80% of their cumulative revenue. So what does that mean? That means we'll go back up here and we'll assign an A for assets. And then we'll just copy that down to that first yellow break. So what we're basically saying is there's 139 A clients on this particular team. Then I would start with the B's next and just do the same thing. Copy that down to the next break here. Okay, so basically what we're saying is a total of 80% of their revenue equals all of their A and B clients. Right now, that means their C clients are going to start here. And for me, in this particular team, I think we take their C clients from roughly 2,800. I'm just going to say we'll take those down to $1,000 in terms of annual revenue, approximately right in here. Where is that? Yeah. Okay, $1,000 will be their C clients. I guess I didn't copy that, so let me do it again. And this is just this is arbitrary. You could talk about whatever number you want to think about as for C's, but to me this is what makes sense based on experience. And then the question is we've got now people who are paying less than 1,000. So I just want to call those D's. And that's quite a few of them. Yeah. Okay. Now, just to keep this easy, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put in numbered, some numbers here. I'll probably do it over here because I want to also put in here attitude and advocacy. Advocacy, good. Okay, and then I'm going to just run a row of numbers. So I put in a 1, type 1, and then the next formula here is going to be equal, navigate up to 1 plus 1. And that'll give me another formula that I can use to copy down all the way. Again, just double click your mouse there. All right, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go down here. I'm going to find this one, which is my 60% number. And then in the next, where my first B is, I'll just type a 1, and that'll reset the numbers. And I'll go down to the end here to the C's, and I'll reset the numbers again. And then I'll go down to the D's, and I'll reset the numbers again, just by typing 1. Okay, good. Now this will make it easy as we start to figure out how many A, B, C, D clients we have. Obviously, ultimately, we want to know how many of each A, double A, B and C clients, D clients we have. And so we're going to start to build a little bit of a chart here. And for now, I'm just going to show you where we're going with this. So for A clients, we've got 140. For B clients, we've got 127. So I'm just going to go put those numbers in there now, 140 and 127. Then I'm going to go look at the C's. And we've got C clients, 206. D clients, we've got 406. So 206, 406. 206, 406. Okay, so this is going to start to give you an idea of what's going on here. So we've got relatively few clients doing all the revenue, and we've got a lot of clients who are not doing any revenue. Now, some of those people could be emerging A's, right? So sorry, emerging A's. And some of them could be family members of A clients, or as Pareto calls them, AFs. All right, so as we're going through this, obviously we want to be aware of anybody who's in the B, C, or D rank who's going to quickly become an A because they're retiring or they're getting a settlement or something like that. And we also want to be cognizant of the AFs. Those are usually people who are C's and D's, but they're related to somebody who's an A client, oftentimes a significant A client. So we also want to be, again, aware of those people so that we can treat them the way we want to on the service matrix. Clearly, they're going to be treated as something other than a D client for most advisors. Okay, so this is where we are for now. This is just a quick way that we start this client classification process. We'll do more once we understand attitude and advocacy. All right, the other thing I want to do is over here, I just want to look at how much revenue each client is generating as a percent of their AUM. So we'll just do another formula here. This will be equals, and we'll navigate over to revenue, and then we'll divide by the, actually, let me just change that formula. That should be equal to T12. And then we want to put the division sign and then navigate over to AUM. And that'll give us, once we format this as a percentage, and then I'll click on this to give me some decimal. This will tell us the percentage that the client is paying in terms of total assets. And again, I'm just gonna, I guess I have to copy it down because I don't have a reference cell. I'm just gonna copy that all the way down here. I don't really care too much about the B's, C's, and D's. But I do want to point out here that there may be some people where their assets are quite high in the B's, in the C's, and the D's. For example, you'll see somebody here who's got 6.9 million with us, and they're generating $844. So this could be maybe a all bonds account where we're not charging them for managing the bonds, we're just charging a commission on the purchase of the bonds, or it could be largely one or two stocks where we're just getting a custody fee. And so, but these are, again, these are things that stand out that we want to take a look at and say, or this could just simply be a new client that hasn't been billed a quarter yet, or a full quarter. So in any event, we've got to dig into some of these and make sure that all these make sense to us and that there's nothing unusual. I sometimes will go over here and create another formula, or actually in this case, it's called conditional formatting. And so I'll just do a, where is that? We're kind of getting into the esoterica here. So if you don't want to watch this part, that's okay. But in the conditional formatting, I'll go into this, highlight rules, and I'll say less than. And that'll bring up a formula that says if the cell is less than, and I can put in whatever I want, and I might put in here 0.5%. And then I want to say, now just fill that up with, I don't know, I don't care, yellow or whatever, light red fill, let's do that, okay? All right, and then I'm gonna just copy that down, and that's all of a sudden gonna show me anybody who's paying less than 50 basis points for their asset management. And again, that's good information. I mean, it may be that that's completely accurate. We've got a negotiated fee or, whatever the case might be. But again, I want to look at all these and say, why are these people paying relatively small amounts? And is there anything that we can do to reframe that relationship so that we're getting, either sending this person somewhere else where they can be taken care of in a different manner, more efficiently, or we are reframing this relationship so they become more of an A client, more of an ideal client for us. All right. Hope this is helpful. Let me know if you have any questions. Yeah, have a great day.